What happens when a $20,000 drone forces a country to burn a $4 million missile? Again and again. That's not just expensive, it's unsustainable. And it's exactly what's rewriting the rules of modern warfare. Since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022, Ukraine has become a proving ground for modern warfare. But it's not tanks or fighter jets grabbing headlines, it's drones. Specifically, Shahed drones. Cheap, Iranian-made kamikaze UAVs costing between $20,000 and $50,000 each. Crude? Yes, but devastatingly effective. By early 2025, over 14,700 one-way attack drones had been launched against Ukrainian targets. And here's the catch: there's no cheap way to stop them. Ukraine and its allies are forced to counter these low-cost threats with missiles that cost millions. A single Patriot interceptor? Over $4 million. NASAMS? Not far behind. The result? A bleeding-edge war budget. Each drone may cost $20,000, but every intercept can cost 100 times more. It's not a fair fight. It's economic attrition. Now multiply that over thousands of drones, and you start to see the problem. Even the best-equipped militaries in the world are feeling the pressure. And this isn't just a Ukraine problem. The cost imbalance exposed in Ukraine? It's not an isolated case. Thousands of miles away in the Red Sea, the U.S. Navy has been caught in a modern dilemma, defending against low-tech threats with high-end firepower. Since late 2023, Houthi rebels, backed by Iran, have launched wave after wave of drones and cheap missiles at commercial ships and allied naval forces. In response, American destroyers and cruisers have been forced to defend themselves with the best tools they have. The problem? Those tools come with a price tag. An SM-2 missile costs about $2.1 million. The SM-6, $4.3 million, and the advanced SM-3 interceptor can range anywhere from $9.6 million to nearly $29 million per shot. Let that sink in. These ships are using missiles that cost millions to stop projectiles that cost a fraction of that. And the volume? Staggering. Between October 2023 and January 2025, the U.S. Navy launched more air defense missiles than it had in the previous 3 decades combined. Over $1 billion spent in just 15 months. That's not just inefficient, it's unsustainable. The kind of burn rate that can cripple readiness in a long war. And it begs the question, if the most advanced military on the planet can't afford to shoot back, what happens when the next conflict scales up even more? The U.S. defense industry had a choice: keep playing by Cold War rules or adapt to the reality of low-cost, high-volume threats. Enter Lockheed Martin's Comet, short for Cruise Missile Multi-Mission Truck, CMMT. At first glance, Comet isn't flashy. It's not a stealth missile. It doesn't promise pinpoint precision or next-gen propulsion. But that's exactly the point. It's designed to be mass-produced, modular, and affordable. At around $150,000 per unit, Comet costs less than a tenth of traditional cruise missiles like the JASSM. And unlike those legacy systems, it's built for scale. Its modular architecture allows it to carry a variety of payloads, from surveillance gear to explosive warheads. It can be launched from ground vehicles, aircraft, or even naval platforms. It's not just a missile, it's a plug-and-play weapons system. But what makes Comet truly revolutionary isn't what it carries, it's how it was created. This missile is the first major product of Lockheed's 1LMX initiative, a sweeping internal transformation designed to overhaul how weapons are designed, built, and delivered. In the old world, a program like this could take 5 to 10 years to reach deployment. Comet? It reached preliminary design review in half the usual time. That's not an evolution, it's a complete rewrite of the production playbook. And in a world where time to deploy could mean the difference between deterrence and devastation, that speed might be Lockheed's most valuable weapon yet. Comet is more than a new missile. It's the first visible ripple of a seismic shift happening inside one of the world's largest defense contractors. Because to build a $150,000 missile at scale, Lockheed Martin had to rethink more than just materials or design. It had to reinvent the entire manufacturing ecosystem. The answer? A radical concept, a factory that fits inside a single room. Not metaphorically, literally. This isn't your traditional weapons facility with sprawling assembly lines and endless logistics. Lockheed has engineered a compact, replicable production unit that can be deployed almost anywhere in the world. In other words, they're building factories that move with the war. These modular facilities are part of a broader transformation called 1LMX, Lockheed's most ambitious internal reorganization in history. Backed by billions in investment, 1LMX isn't about making weapons faster. It's about designing for production from day one. That means reusable designs shared across systems, rapid iteration cycles using digital twins and virtual prototyping, and a distributed manufacturing model that decentralizes production, reducing bottlenecks and increasing resilience. With Comet, Lockheed cut the timeline to initial design review by 50%. Not just faster, but smarter, agile, scalable. And in a world where conflicts erupt in weeks, not years, that kind of agility isn't just a bonus, it's a battlefield advantage. Because here's the truth, it's not just about having more missiles. It's about being able to build what you need, where you need it, when you need it. For decades, American military power was defined by a single principle: technological supremacy. From stealth bombers to precision-guided munitions, the U.S. didn't just build weapons, it built exquisite systems, each one a marvel of engineering, each one optimized for absolute dominance. But now, the battlefield is evolving faster than perfection can keep up. Drone swarms, saturation attacks, AI-directed munitions. The enemy isn't waiting for billion-dollar projects to mature. They're flooding the zone with good enough weapons, built fast and deployed faster. And here's the hard truth. In this new kind of warfare, volume beats virtue. That's why Comet matters. That's why 1LMX matters. Because for the first time in modern U.S. defense history, a titan like Lockheed Martin is saying, exquisite isn't enough. What wins now is expandable. Weapons that are cheap enough to deploy at scale, fast enough to adapt to new threats, and smart enough to work in a networked, software-driven battlefield. And Comet isn't alone. Anduril's Barracuda, designed for hyperscale production, is already disrupting the Pentagon's playbook. It's 30% cheaper, 50% faster to build, with 95% fewer tools needed to manufacture. We're witnessing a doctrinal pivot, a shift away from legacy thinking toward a future where adaptability, affordability, and acceleration define military power. This isn't just about missiles, it's about the mindset behind them. And it all started because a few $20,000 drones exposed a multi-trillion-dollar flaw in the system. Ukraine's drone war didn't just change the tactics, it shattered the assumptions. It showed that no matter how advanced your military is, if your weapons are too slow, too expensive, and too few, you lose the numbers game. Lockheed's Comet, Anduril's Barracuda. These aren't just new missiles. They're manifestos, blueprints for a new kind of warfare, one that values scale over specs, speed over perfection, and cost efficiency over complexity. The next global conflict won't be decided by who has the most advanced missile. It'll be decided by who can build the right one, fast enough, at scale. If you want to stay ahead of how the battlefield is evolving, hit that subscribe button. I cover the gear, the strategy, and the stories reshaping modern defense. And if there's a new system, tech breakthrough, or doctrine you want to dive into, drop it in the comments. I read everyone. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one. And if there's a defense system or strategy you want to see covered next, drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. Thanks for watching. Stay sharp.